Arnold van Graan from Nedbank. Can you just remind us of your hedging structure or strategy? We've seen a lot of volatility in the rand gold price in the last year, and would you act on that?
Yeah, well, I think most shareholders want exposure to the gold price. That's why they invest in Pan-African. If we knew what the gold price was going to do, we wouldn't be here. We would sort of be speculating in gold. So it's very dangerous, and no management team has ever been fired for not hedging. So it's not something we do lightly. I think Dion can maybe just elaborate on our hedging and our hedging structure.
We're very cautious about hedging because, in my experience, or at least a very large percentage of hedging often turns to burn companies. We've seen massive hedging failures in the past, and mining companies have destroyed a lot of value hedging. Having said that, where circumstances identify a specific risk, be it transactional, or be it of a capital nature, such as on Elikhulu, we will enter into short-term strategic hedges to mitigate some of the risk. In the case of Elikhulu, we've hedged 27,000 ounces, and that was done specifically to give us a bit more robustness or a bit more visibility of cash flows during next year's construction period and the first year thereafter. Thereafter, the debt comes down to such an extent that we felt no further hedging is necessary. But other than the Elikhulu hedging, we have no hedging at the moment. We've cleaned out our book, and we're completely unhedged otherwise. Having said that, if we see a spike to 665,000 rand a kilogram again, there will obviously be a desire to maybe lock in on the short term a couple of ounces. I think it worked very well for Harmony at that stage. But we need to get our board on side, and it's not always easy for the reasons Cobus mentioned.
Yatish Chowdhury from Macquarie. On your achieving gold production guidance of 190,000 ounces for this year, with the plus, would you not suggest that is a bit conservative, given you are fixing, or Barberton community issues, Section 54s have sort of winded down, and Evander is going to be producing back to the certain levels of around about 75,000 ounces. And furthermore, your tailings certainly outperformed, given you did focus on doing a bit more at ETRPM. So 205,000 ounces a year, 2 years ago, is that more of a realistic number as opposed to 190?
Well, I mean, what we don't want to do this year is we don't want to revise guidance down. Our management teams at the operations are very aware of sort of the minimum production, and I can assure you every single day, we focus on getting the tons out safely and getting the grade to the plant. Again, 190 might be conservative, but it's guidance that we need to achieve.
Would you care to comment on our current status on the wage agreements with the unions?
We have a 1 year remaining wage agreement at Evander, so we negotiate as part of the chamber next year. We are currently negotiating wages at Barberton, so the current wage agreement terminated at the end of June of this year. We're currently negotiating, and hopefully we can get that done in the next weeks. We'd like to get a multi-year agreement. It's not always possible.
The Yolandi exploration drilling program, which has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
It's an extension of the Fairview ore body. It's very exciting from all the initial reports. To get this underway would be extremely exciting.
Yeah, we would love to get it going. I mean, if we look at Barberton, we currently employ 1,800 people. We have 400 or 500 contractors. You can just imagine what another Barberton would do to the whole area. Exactly. Unfortunately, we've encountered difficulties with some of the locals. We've had some setbacks, but we haven't given up hope on that project. We are very excited about a 2-year project that we've just embarked on, which is a sub-vertical shaft to alleviate congestion at Fairview's number 3 decline. So this sub-vertical will be 4.1 meters in diameter. It will extend from 42 to 64 levels by means of raise boring. We will equip the sub-vertical shaft to hoist men and material, and thereby free up the current 3 decline to only deal with ore hoisting. It will also assist us in developing exploration drives towards the ZK ore body, which is currently being mined from Sheba on approximately 58 and 62 level elevations. Again, as I've emphasized, the outcomes of this project should be that 3-shaft rock hoisting capacity will be substantially increased. We will increase flexibility in the MRC ore body. We'll have the ability to access and to mine the down-dip extension of the ZK ore body, and it will enable us to do exploration, additional exploration. If we then can move on to Evander underground, Evander really is a long life, high quality ore body with material upside in the future. We are not completely out of the woods as far as the infrastructure is concerned. There are a number of major repairs still ongoing. The bulk of those we expect to be done in January of 2018. We are also looking at power supply alternatives. It's a medium-term project. We need to, even though currently Eskom is very reliable, something that we would like to do over the medium term is look to reduce the cost of our power.
Martin Creamer from Mining Weekly Online. You mentioned that you're investigating alternative supplies of power, and you wanted to reduce the cost of power. Does this include renewables? Or are you also looking at renewable energy possibilities?
We have to be quite careful, and whatever we do, Martin, will be very considered. In terms of Eskom and the Eskom supply at the moment, we're seeing a very consistent supply, so we've not had any major interruptions in electricity, and it's clearly as a result of sort of the new power stations coming online, but then also reduced demand in recent years. It really is a cost-benefit trade-off. What we have seen in recent years is that the renewables have become a lot more reliable, sustainable, efficient. On paper, some of these alternatives make sense, but it is a large capital commitment. It's not something we will take lightly. Again, when we have a 15-year life, this is only on 25, 26 at Evander, and we have to think of the long term.